Good morning. So this is a 30-minute yoga session for somebody who's been doing yoga for maybe a few weeks. So let's give it a go. If we could come to our mat and standing comfortably. And just having the feet underneath the hips. Let's do some hip turning. Lovely. And then swinging a bit from side to side. You can maybe make the feet a bit wider apart. That's lovely. Trying to keep the head more or less in the same place. Those lovely hip swings, beginning to lubricate the femur and its socket. Okay, and then do some turnings the other way. Good. Okay, and then raising the hands up, take one hand down. I'm taking my right hand down and over we go. Remember only to do what feels comfortable for you. And then breathing in, coming up, and breathing out. Let's go down the other way. Lovely, nice stretch. So if you want, you can bounce a little, but if that feels too strenuous, just comfortably breathing out, easing into it, and trying to keep this arm above the ear. Okay, good. Breathing in, coming up. I'd like you to bring the feet more together. Take the hands to the knees and just do some gentle knee turns. And as you know, we have to be so careful of this knee joint because it's a hinge joint, but it does do those rotations, but we don't want to over exaggerate anything out of that hinge joint that it works best at. Okay, so just gently feeling into that knee joint, holding it firmly if you wish. Okay, good. Straightening up, going all the way up, lengthening, lengthening, and the hands parallel to each other. And this time we'll go down with the hands straight up to one side. Lovely stretch. Breathe in, come up. Breathe out, other side. Lovely stretch. So it's the tree blowing in the wind. Really nice for the sides of the torso. Breathe in, come up. Breathe out, go down. And only do not only what feels comfortable for you, but it's usually best to pull back about 30%. And then just rotating into that shoulder joint. Lovely. So really feeling it, and then doing the opposite way, like so. I'm just coming down so you can see me better. That's it. And then if that was going back and this was going forward, doing the opposite. Okay, good. And then hands at the front, rolling forward. So you can do this seated, kneeling, standing, sitting on a chair, then backward rolling. Lovely. And then I'd like you to take your right hand to the outside of your left arm and turn and look behind you. Okay. And then try looking the opposite way. Keep pushing that arm. Lovely. Release and do the opposite side. So left hand to right upper arm. Push, looking over your left shoulder. Push and then turn the head and look the opposite way. Good. And release to the front and take the hands parallel to the floor. So remember, you can be standing, sitting, kneeling. And then take the arms out and back. So they're just going out to a right angle at that elbow joint. Lovely. And then turn the palms upwards and bring them into the center. Lower, breathe in, come up. Breathe out, go down. Breathe in, come up. Breathe out, go down. Breathe in, come up. Breathe out, slow out breath. Lowering the hands now to the sides. Rotate the arms. Lovely. And then we're coming up to standing. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to, you can be facing me, but I'd like you to breathe in, take the arms all the way up. Breathe out, come down to halfway. Take the hands into where the legs join the hips and look forward. Okay, so trying to create that angle, nice right angle. And then lower the hands to the knees and look up. Lovely. And then on the next out breath, tuck the chin in and then lowering down to wherever you feel comfortable. So it's best not to particularly aim to touch the floor unless you know that's really comfortable for you, because you can create a bulge in the discs of the lower back. And if they're weak, then they could bulge further and start to cause pain. So best not to overdo it with yoga, really. Always pull back a little. And then depending on how comfy you are, you can have the knees generously bent, chin tucked in, or slightly straight, not necessarily locked. Okay, and then grabbing hold of your elbows, dropping down a little bit further if it feels comfortable. If it doesn't, don't do it. Okay. And then just swing the arms a little from side to side. How does that feel? Not the torso, just the arms. Nicely stretching in here. Okay. And then take the arms up behind you, familiar clasp, and try and lift them up a little. So I was teaching once on it was a weekend course, and a man who'd never done yoga before, who was 84, came into the class and explained that no, he was quite flexible. And he lifted his arms up and he put them right over his head and then parallel to the floor going that way, much to our astonishment. So obviously extremely mobile shoulder joints. Okay, and breathing down, coming down, sliding down the back of the legs. Bit of a massage and a rub as you go down the back of the legs. Lovely. Okay, and dropping down again. Now bend the knees deeply as though we were going to sit on a chair or a stool. Place the hands on the elbows, look forward, and up we come. Sliding up. Okay, sliding all the way up to the top. Now you might feel a little dizzy as you get to the top. You can take the arms out, help you balance, prop the shoulders. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Well, let's do a lovely back bend. So let's place the hands into the lower back and just look up and slightly arch back, like you do when you get out of the car after a long journey. Just, oh, that's so nice. So nice. So that's closing off your sacroiliac joints and compressing those discs that tend to bulge at the back. And that helps them to start to rejuvenate and heal. Looking up to the ceiling if you can. Looking forward if that's more comfortable. Okay, breathing in, coming up. Slight tilt forward, rub into the back. And rub all the way along as much of the back as you can reach. Lovely. And we're going to come down now into a kind of squat, and lots of people find the squat difficult. So you might want to find blocks and things to sit on. For example, over here, I've got loads of blocks. If I wanted to, I could position them so that rather than squatting, I'm comfortably sitting on them. Okay. So if we're working on opening out, we're still doing the same sort of work. If you want to, you could reduce down to just a couple of blocks. But remember, blocks are not about cheating. Blocks are about getting the position right for you. So those of you who can squat, just push the knees out a bit more. And those of you who find it hard, see the feet are quite wide apart and they're going out at 10 to 2 with the knees going over them. That's always important because that hinge joint. Okay, so here we are in our squat. And if that's very uncomfortable, remember, sit on some blocks. So I'll just come forward so you can see me better. That was a bit of crow walking there. And pushing the palms of the hands together into Namaste. My elbows are pushing my knees out a bit. Okay. So apparently this is good for the process of elimination. Did you like how delicately I phrased that? Okay, breathing into it. Breathing into it. And then placing the hands forward. Just walking the hands forward. Bringing the chin to the chest, but keeping the knees as wide as possible. Remember, there's no problem with sitting on blocks or a little stool. Okay, and then we're going to just simply sit down from there. So coming down, comfortably positioning the feet facing forward. So when I sit down, I tend to find that I slump in my back. So I need something little, sort of little block could I get? Maybe this little cushion will work. Okay, so something fairly little. And if I wanted to, I could fold it over a bit. And then just positioning it, let me see how I do it, just underneath the tailbone. So instead of having a back slump like that, I'm trying to tilt this pelvis area forward. So if you imagine it as a bowl filled with milk, if I tilt back like that with my pelvis, the milk's going to fall backwards. And if I'm too far forward, it's going to fall forward. So what we want is it comfortably, absolutely level. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, I'm tilting it just a little bit forward and then straightening up. And we straighten up from the crown of the head. You probably realize that we do that a lot in yoga. And then let's just rotate the shoulders back. So if you know you have stiff shoulders, I recommend doing this several times a day. And then shoulders forward. You know, we used to think of it as, I don't know, something we had to do in PE, or I don't know, if we had a gym instructor. I'm like, don't want to do that. But if we think of it as really lubricating that shoulder joint, it's as important as putting your face cream on. You know, it's really looking after yourself. You might hear it crinkle and crinkle, sign of wisdom. Okay, good. And then just place the hands in the Gyan Mudra, 4 fingers to thumb, and open out. There we go. And just raise the upper arms to parallel to the floor. Okay, and then I don't know about you, but my chin is rising up. So we want the back of the neck nice and open, nice and level. Close the eyes a minute and breathe. We're just about to do a twist. So I've gone into cross-legged, but we started off, and if you're still in with your feet forward, that's fine. Okay. So breathing out, coming down, hands, middle fingers touching at the throat chakra. Breathe in, breathe out, and release. So we are going to do a forward bend here, but remember, it's not about getting the head to the feet. Okay, so the main thing is about the stretching up. So let's stretch up. So we get those rib cage, actually the lower ribs, are well away from the pelvis. And then what we do is we imagine there's a kind of, I don't know, a bar here. We need to lift this rib cage up and over that bar. What we don't want is for this to sink as we go forward. We want this to stay up. So stretch, 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 stretch as you lean forward and breathe out. And then don't worry if you can't touch your feet. Don't worry if your knees bend. You can generously bend them. Okay, so it's not about straining the lower back. And you're just going down somewhere comfortably. If you've got really long legs and a short torso, it's very difficult. If you've got short legs and a long torso, it's easy peasy. So it's not competitive, this yoga, depends on your body. So we're just gently breathing out. If you feel a lot of strain in the lower back, I would suggest you bend the knees and you don't go down very far. Okay. If you feel comfortable, you can lower down a little bit more on the out breath. And it's because you've probably got very strong lower back discs. You've probably been using them a lot. They've strengthened up. And they actually like to be opened up at the back. Breathing into it. So this is a pose for emotional safety and security. To feel more reassured, to feel calm, to feel soothed. All the forward bends are like that. And just let the yoga pose work on us. Now, if you're feeling this is a bit much, ease off a little, you know? You get absolutely more yoga points for being kind to your body rather than pushing it and trying to overdo it. Oh, I've noticed my shoulders are tensing up. Relax the shoulders, chin to chest. Nice and relaxed. And then breathing in, sliding the hands up the leg. Okay, all the way up. Lengthening up, chin down though, lengthening up. Lovely. And then breathing out, bring the hands behind you, point the toes away from you, and we're just going into an opposing pose. And let me go back a little so you can see my cushion. You can be on your fists, you can have your hands facing forward, you can have them facing out to the side or facing backwards. Really don't mind. But we're just going to point the toes some more and lift the pelvis up. And if that's too hard, there are ways to get around it, you know. You could lift the pelvis up and put a block there and do a little baby back plank. Okay, I'll get to this position and then lift a little and back again. Okay, looking up to the ceiling, trying to be, if you can, on a straight line from the crown of the head all the way down to in between the feet, the heels. Lifting the pelvis that little bit more. And it's very hard on the hands, so we will work on the hands when we come down. So breathing out, coming down, releasing. Okay, and then, because that was a bit hard on the hands, I'd like you to rotate the wrists a bit. That's nice, just like that. Just really letting that wrist joint go. Technically, in yoga, we're not meant to have watches on, but I have my Fitbit and my ordinary watch, and I also have my all-inclusive band for my holiday still there. Oops. Okay, and rotate a bit more. And then back, push back. And forward. So I'm cross-legged now, but obviously sit however is comfy for you. If you find cross-legged difficult, if you could keep doing those while I'm explaining, you can always position blocks underneath the knees to make it more comfy. Okay, and now I'd just like you to open the legs out. Again, you can do this seated on a small stool or on the edge of a chair, but I have my toes going out fairly wide. Tilt the angle so you can see. Okay, there we go, they're out there. So toes fairly wide, breathe in, lengthen up. Open out the knees a little bit straighter if you can. If you can't, don't worry about it. And turn to your right foot and breathe out and let's go down. Okay, so can you see I'm generously soft in that knee? I could try to straighten it out, but I'm being gentle, both on the knee, the hamstring, and the lower back. I'm breathing out and down. And then the other tricky bit about this pose is the shoulders. So one shoulder, especially the left, tends to rise up. So let's see if we can get the left and right shoulders evenly from the ground. Breathing into that. Yeah. Breathe in. Breathe out, maybe going a little bit more down. And letting the pose work on the body. Okay, breathing in, coming up, sliding up that leg, lift up the rib cage away from the pelvis, breathe out, let's go down the other way. But remember, we're not collapsing here as we go down. We're trying to keep that rib cage up, high as we go down the other way. And then again, you'll find this time your right shoulder is probably rising up. So try and level them out and breathing out. Gently relaxing into it. And if you need to, bend that knee. If it's straight and it hurts, not good. So you could bend the knee, okay? So I'm just holding on. Hold on anywhere. Hold on to the knee, hold on to the shin, ankle, foot. Whichever is easiest for you. And just check your rib cages away from the pelvis. On each out breath, going down a little if it feels comfortable. Okay, lovely. Breathing in, sliding up. So we're trying to do the same amount on both sides. And then I'd like you to bring the feet in. Now, if you think, nope, can't do that, okay, go and sit on the chair, sit on some blocks, okay? So at the moment, we're just doing the cobbler, the easy cobbler. Just like you to bounce the knees a little. Lovely. Straighten the shoulders back. Lovely. Okay, and then see if you can open out the insides of the feet here. So you're putting a shoe in there and see if you can bring the heel in. Now, if you get pain on the front of the knee, that's probably a sign that this is not good. You need to go further out, okay, not further in. So you can still do the bouncing. You can still straighten up and lift from the crown of the head. Yay, like so. Lovely. And then I'd like to do a twist. So it's up to you what you do with the legs for this twist. You might want to do cross-legged, you might want to do straight, you might want to sit on the chair. The instructions from torso up are the same. So I'm sitting cross-legged simply because it's comfy. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the left hand over to the right knee. And just let's check we're nice and straight in the spine. The right hand comes around the back. Okay, and it steadies us at the back. So breathing in, lift from the crown, breathing out, turning round to the right. Nice breathing. On each in-breath, lengthening up. On each out-breath, looking round behind. So if you were seated on a chair, you could hold on to the right corner of the chair here and the back left corner with the back hand and rotating around. The main thing that we're working on is the rotation from the tailbone all the way up the spine. It doesn't rotate too much until it gets to somewhere in the lower back. Each out breath going a little bit further round. Let's see if we can just enjoy that. Each in-breath lifting from the crown of the head. And breathing out, coming round to the front. Not too bad, was it? Not too bad. And then for those who are cross-legged, let's put the other foot on the inside. Okay, take the right hand this time over to the left. And I can feel that I've scrunched up here, so I need to lift from the crown of the head, take the left hand round the back, lovely, and then lengthen from the crown upwards, and then on the out breath start to turn. And again, you can do this sitting on a stool, on a chair. You can do it with the legs going out straight in front, because we're mainly working from pelvis upwards. And one of the mistakes people often make is their chin starts to go up, which actually means the back of the neck scrunches as you turn. So just keep the back of the neck nice and open, chin slightly down. Breathe in, lengthen from the crown. Breathe out, turning some more. Just enjoying the pose, dropping the shoulders, lifting from the crown of the head, turning a little bit more round to the left, as though we're trying to see into our peripheral vision. Lovely twist, very beneficial. And then breathing out, coming round back to the front, pausing, and let's just rest a little. So going down to Shavasana. So we're coming to the end of the half hour, and the legs nicely 3 feet apart, shoulders away from the head, shoulder blades. You might need to lift them up by pushing on the head and lift them up down towards the tailbone, chin to chest. If you need to, you could put a little support under the head. Extra yoga points, so being kind here. And then just relaxing gently, letting go completely. So that the benefits of the practice can be absorbed into every cell and organ of the body, muscles and tendons, everywhere. Now, if you find it uncomfortable lying there, you can always bend the knees. That will ease out the lower back, and continue to lie there. And then if you're really happy there, just stay there. Even though I'm going to end the class, you don't have to move because you're at home, you're doing your own practice. But those of you who wish to roll over onto one side, bend the knees, roll over onto one side into fetal position, just resting comfortably. No rush. Okay, and then push with the hands to come up. Except those of you who've decided to lie down and comfortably enjoy the relaxation. And then as you come up, I'll just do namaste together. So thank you so much. And if you wish to know when I post another one, just hit the subscribe button. Won't send you emails or anything, but when you come into YouTube, it will say, here is another video. So it's useful to you. It's also helpful to me. Thank you.